Global search is a pretty cool feature actually, but not too many people make use of it, at least not to its fullest extent. In case you didn't know, global search is that search bar on the top of every screen within NetSuite. You simply put in a keyword, it looks through the system and gives you the records that contain that keyword. It can also speed up your navigation throughout the whole system. But there's a few things you can do to get the most out of global search, and in today's video we'll talk about a few points that will help you do exactly that. And it's one of those things where you get a hang of it, you'll wonder how you survived without it. Let's dive into it. So as a base functionality, the global search takes in a keyword and gives you some results based on that. So for example, I type in the word cloud into the global search. It gives me all of the records that contain the keyword cloud. So for example, here I see a customer, a few images, a couple of contacts, and one opportunity. But what if I want to see only customer records in the global search? This is where prefixes come in very handy. What that allows you to do is you can specify the record type you're looking for. That way the global search only looks for those records. So in our scenario, if I'm looking for only customer records, what I can do is I can put in the first few characters of the record name, in this case customer. So I would put in CU for customer, followed by colon, and then the keyword. This way the global search returns only customer records that contain the keyword. And this works with other records as well. For example, vendors, contacts, even saved searches. All you need to do is take the first few characters of that record name and use that as a prefix. So for vendors, it would be VE, for contacts, it would be CO, and for saved searches, it would be SEA. One thing to keep in mind is, if you've renamed the record in your NetSuite instance, you would use a new name to define the prefix. For example, it is very common to rename the vendor record to supplier. In such case, you would use SU or SUP as a prefix. Similarly, if your customer record is renamed to client, you would use CL or CLI as a prefix. And this works with custom records as well. As long as the custom record is set up to be available for global search, you can simply put in the first few characters of that custom record name and use that as a prefix. So from here, in our example, if I hit enter, it takes me directly to the customer record. But what if I want to go to the customer record in edit mode rather than in view mode? In that case, what you would do is you would make the first character of the prefix capital. That lets NetSuite know that you're trying to get to the record in edit mode. So in our example, if I'm looking for a customer record, I would put in a capital C, lowercase u, colon, cloud. And if I hit enter here, it takes me to the customer record in edit mode. Now, one thing to keep in mind is this is only possible because there is one personal preference that's been disabled. If you hover over your home, go to Set Preferences. Under Analytics, you will see a preference called Show List when only one result. What that means is if this is disabled, when you search for something in global search or a saved search and it finds only one result, it will take you directly to that record. If this preference is enabled and you perform a search in global search or a saved search and it finds only one result, it will still show you that result in a list form rather than taking you to the record. So if I enable this preference and look for our customer record again, CU colon cloud, enter. Now it shows me the customer record in list view rather than take me directly to the customer record. Now it's very common for people to enable this preference because when you perform a saved search and it gives you one result only and it takes you directly to that record, but you want to go back to the saved search and modify the criteria, you're not able to go back and retain that criteria. You will need to create the saved search criteria all over again. In such cases, what you can do is when you're looking for a record in global search, in our case CU cloud, I can click on the name of the customer to be directed in a view mode of the customer record, or I can click edit to be directed to the customer record in edit mode. As you saw previously, if I type in CU cloud again, there's another option here that says dash. If I click the dash option, it will take me directly to the customer's dashboard. Now, one of the things that can be really frustrating when you're using global search is when you're looking for a record and you can't find it in the global search option. Most likely that record is set to inactive. But how do you see the inactive records in global search? In that case, what you can do is put in a plus sign at the end of the keyword. So if we take our example again, I type in CU customer cloud. Now I see only active customer records. And if I put in a plus at the end, now it shows me inactive customer records as well. So if you're ever wondering why one of the records is not showing up in the global search, simply add a plus sign at the end and see if it shows up then. So it's pretty handy that you can find records and go to records from the global search. But what you can also do is you can make your navigation much quicker using global search. For example, if I want to create a new customer record, rather than me going through menus and submenus, I can simply put that into global search and it'll take me directly to a new customer page. In this case, I just type in new customer. And as you can see, there's a few things that pop up on the top that have the name new customer, but there's also navigation paths at the bottom of the global search. So in this case, I'm looking for customer new. So if I click on that, it will take me directly to a new customer page. Now, of course, this is available to other areas within NetSuite as well. For example, if I want to go to a list of all vendors, all I need to do is type in the word vendors, and it will give me a few options for that. So as you can see, there's few options that pop up that contain the keyword vendors, but there's also the page vendors. If I click on that, it will take me directly to the list of vendors. So there you have it, a few points to help you get the most out of global search. If there's any topics you want me to cover in the future, please leave them down in the comments. Thank you for watching.